Yo, what is going on, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, JenksTCG. Today, we are having an interview with the world's greatest Pokemon player, Tord Reklev. He played this crazy Inteleon VMAX deck to the Players' Cup Finals and ended up taking 4th place overall, getting himself a nice travel award and the glory that comes with that placement. So let's take a look at the deck list, and then we're going to get right into the interview with Tord. Alright everyone, here is Tord's deck list that he played for the Players' Cup. As you can see, it's featuring this crazy Inteleon VMAX Pokemon, which, and he mentions in the interview, he's going to try and establish a kind of a win in 3-turn strategy where you can max bullet multiple times, kind of like a Night Spear effect, where you go 160 active, 60 bench, and you take out a VMAX, a 2-prizer, and a Zigzagoon or Jirachi, something like that on the bench. It has that Hydro Snipe for 60, return the water energy to the opponent's hand, or the energy to the opponent's hand. Got Frosmoth to accelerate all of these water Pokemon that he's going to be attacking with. We got the Suicune for Decidueye. They mentioned something really cool about the Suicune in the interview. And yeah, overall, a really cool deck list, something that definitely took me and I'm sure the rest of the players in the finals by surprise. So with that being said, let's get into the interview. I think you guys are going to like it. Let's go. Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, JenksTCG. Today, I am joined with the one and only Tord Reklev, your Players' Cup semi-finalist. How's it going, Tord?
Hey, all good, thank you. Thanks for being here.
Jumping right into things, we're going to talk about how long you've been playing, and go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a 25-year-old Pokemon player from Norway. I've been playing for a long time now. I learned the game when I was like first year of school, so I was like 6, I think. But I've only been playing competitive, or only, for 15 years now. So there's that. Yeah, I had a lot of success recently as well. After they introduced the cache area, I got a little more known around.
Absolutely. And with all of that said, what were some of your accomplishments in the game? I think most of them are known for the big IC wins, but go ahead and mention any accomplishments that you might want to include.
Yeah, obviously I'm probably most proud of winning the 3 ICs in a row as well. That was extremely cool. Also proud to be multiple Norwegian national champion, because we have a lot of good players in our little country as well. Proud of that. I got top 4 at the last year Worlds, like the most recent ones, and we didn't have one this year. Also really proud of that, because I always had like big struggles really breaking through that tournament. I was always hyping myself up too much for it, and like couldn't pick the correct decks and couldn't play optimal, because like I put way too much emphasis on that tournament, because that was really in the past the only tournament I could really shine and get my name out there. Because being from Norway, the rest of the world doesn't care too much whatever you do in your own country, and we basically had the Worlds as like that big international tournament they could attend. So I was really happy, even though I was a well-known name before getting that big world placement. Now I was still really happy with finally managing to like break through at that tournament as well.
And I read your article on Limitless. For anyone that hasn't read Tord's article on Limitless, it's an excellent article about his time in the game and that world's run and what it took to get there. And it was really an inspiring article. For anyone that hasn't read that, go to limitless.tcg.com and check that out. It's an amazing read. So obviously you're here for the Players' Cup, being a semi-finalist. You came in and played this crazy Inteleon list that I know when the live roster went live and I looked at your list, I was like, what in the world? Why did you choose this? I think listening to one of your streams, you talked about how it was all about the surprise factor and stuff. But with that in mind, you know, how did you come to that deck choice?
Well, so basically I started my preparations pretty late for this tournament, actually. It was summer vacation. I was not even home, just at my summer house with my parents and a lot of friends for the most time, and really only had like a week or two to actually prepare for the event. But I got a local friend here to come over, and we played a lot, and really started to figure out like the post rotation meta. I felt like And what I basically found out was that games were still as fast, maybe even faster, because of the new set. You had 2 new decks that also had the capability of winning on the same turn as ADP, which is like turn 4 in most cases. Turn 3 if you draw crazy, and turn 5 if you miss something, which is the most likely scenario. So basically I knew what turn I had to win on. So like I needed my deck to win that turn, or else I can compete with like the 2 new big decks, Scorch and Eternatus. But that was also the turn that ADP won on. So it was important for me to find a deck that I knew could trade well against this deck, or like well enough that I could win on that turn. I was testing a lot of Scorch. I was really liking that deck. It felt really strong. But yeah, I was actually originally gonna just go with Scorch, but then I was just looking through cards and tried to think if we could build something a little more out of the box and just not go with the super standard choice, because these players are most likely going to try to counterpick what they expect, right? Which also happened. So then I ran into Inteleon and I was thinking, you know what? This guy, he can actually win in 3 attacks. And if you can somehow make this guy consistent, so you can attack on the second turn, then that's pretty good, because then you consistently win turn 4. And you don't even really need too much behind. You just need to announce the attack a couple times. You don't need like crazy much balls or anything. So that seemed really appealing. And say, was just theorizing it against Eternatus. Like if you just pronounce your attack 3 times and use 1 boss and 1 Zigzagoon ping, you just win the game or the matchup. So with that in mind, that matchup felt, or like seemed like really good. And then he also was playing water, so he already had like the Scorch on lock.
Yeah.
And I was also thinking that Scorch just seemed like a really easy deck to build and play. So I was expecting a lot of people to actually bring that. Now in the end, not that many people actually brought Scorch. But there were some, and there were some alternatives. I was like okay happy with my pick. I also managed to find enough of them that I could make it to the top 4, because like that was what I was banking on, just being able to take down the 2 new hype decks. I was not happy with the ADP matchup for Inteleon. I didn't feel like that matchup was good enough to actually play the deck, but somehow I just went for it anyway. I was thinking like, you know what, I can get lucky against them, or maybe I dodge enough of them, and people just try to play the new decks. Maybe they play some weird counter decks, and then Inteleon is pretty good against those as well, because they would definitely not be thinking about countering Inteleon, right? Inteleon wasn't even nowhere near the ladder when I was playtesting, or before the players group. Actually, that happened the week after, before the broadcast.
Yeah.
Then Inteleon got a lot of hype, but there was like nothing to be seen about the card at all before we actually played. So it was a really well hidden secret, I guess. So I think it was a fair enough call, even though I don't think I would have picked it again. But like it was okay.
I remember that week after we had all played, I started seeing everyone playing Inteleon Frosmoth, and I was like, oh my gosh, wait, how did this happen? They have no idea what's about to happen, and it was crazy that the deck just like came out so fast, just kind of at the same time. It's really interesting to see how the meta evolves so quickly. Right, even as we played the cup the week after, no one knows what's happened, and all of a sudden this meta has like completely changed to kind of support that. And yeah, and obviously you did really well, and as well as Victor and then the 2 Australian players, all the like very odd decks did well. The Zacian, the Lucario Melmetals, and then your Inteleon deck, and then Victor's ADP list was super out of the box. So yeah, I completely agree with you that all the surprise factors of the 4 decks that did well are very present. So you played this Inteleon deck, and then going into qualifying for the finals, you made it through that invitational tournament, and you played at Dragapult. How did that go? Because you definitely had a different approach to qualifying than most people did.
Yeah, so that was before the new set, obviously, and before rotation. So I picked Dragapult. I felt like that was really, really strong deck. Probably the best deck in format for like that that format at least, or like the cards we had available right then.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a really good list that I liked. And I felt Dragapult lists were kind of all over the place at that moment. They were playing so many tech cards, and I couldn't seem to find anyone with a list that can consistently just hit on the second turn.
Mm-hmm.
Like every time I've played on ladder, they were always missing something. And if they managed to get the turn to hit, there was no way they managed to get like the second one up and ready to attack on the fourth turn again, right?
Mm-hmm.
To have like a backup when the first one went down. So I was just trying to streamline it as much as possible, as I do with all my decks, obviously. But like it felt like it really worked out for this one. I kept all the switches, just went with the skateboards because everything had one retreat.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a net, so like I felt I managed to bullet really smoothly. I got super happy with the list I played in the tournament. Actually, after the tournament, I managed to improve the list a little bit more. Started playing the 1/1 Malamar from Henry's list. Actually improved the deck even more. But other than that, it was a great call, I think. I was really happy with going with it, especially because of how the meta turned out in that tournament as well. A lot of Baby Blaze and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so then winning the Invitational, you have your Inteleon deck. You said you prepared with your friend. So going into the finals, what were some of the like key cards in your deck that you thought were really crucial into completing that strategy?
So the Inteleon deck was kind of like Dragapult, but now without the Darkness weakness, so you didn't get one-shot by Eternatus. And you try to do kind of the same thing as Dragapult did. Just do multi-knockouts so you can play around Stamp and have those tanks around you. Dragapult was much cooler in that you could control your field much better.
Yeah.
You didn't have to bench a lot of jank. So then you could do really good comebacks with Stamp as well, Stamp, which you can't do with this other deck. That's the Inteleon deck is more like of a tempo deck. So it's not as close to my heart as say Dragapult was, but it was all right. I was taking one Lapras V and one Suicune, just so I didn't have to get walled by Samacenta and the Sidai. Suicune especially is really good against the Sidai because you can, after you attack with him, you get 2 Water Energy back, and then if your opponent just hit him with the Sidai, you can Scoop Up Net him to heal him. And then you can use him multiple times, like, right? And just go through their whole deck with just that one Suicune. And yeah, as I said, the Lapras was for Samacenta. It doesn't work against full blown on metal wall heal quad goggle shenanigans, obviously.
Yeah.
That was too much to handle. But it definitely works if your opponent just plays a Samacenta tech, or even 2 if they don't play too much goggles on Alolan and stuff like that. Then it's definitely enough to just get you through that one hurdle and so you can let Inteleon finish the game afterwards.
And that Suicune is actually pretty cool. I didn't even think about that. The Scoop Up Net healing is really, really neat.
All right. Yeah, that's really crucial actually, because he won't get through on his own if you can't heal him. But since you can heal him with the net, he's more than enough to get through the deck.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so go ahead and tell us about your rounds and how you ended up getting to the top 4.
All right, so first round I play against Eternatus. It wasn't drawing too well, so I got like multiple rounds of leads, at least the first game. Second game, he makes it pretty close, but he makes a crucial mistake where he tries to play around the Zigzagoon ping for me to win the game. But the thing was that he started about my Zigzagoon, so that play wasn't available for me. But he still played around it, but with playing around it, he put himself in a much worse position than he could be in. So like he needed much more cards to actually win the game when he was trying to play around my Zigzagoon. So I think that could have cost him the game in the end, but it was not a guarantee he would win anyway, but like he would have a much better shot if he didn't do that. Second round I play against, I think I played around against Victor, that I had a rematch with later. And that was my most tense matchup match that tournament. And it wasn't streamed, but all my other matches were, which is kind of funny. But I remember we were playing really close games, And it came down to this crazy game 3 scenario where we were just sitting there retreating around all our stuff and bossing and hoping the other guy didn't have boss and all that for multiple turns. And I had to do some sick through the computer poker reading with Marnie's because he had like 4 card in hand, 4 card in deck kind of stuff. And I needed to make a call if the boss was in the hand or in the deck yet. Basically a 50-50, right? But it's kind of cool sitting there and guess. Is it in his hand? Is it in the deck? Okay, well, wait one more turn and then I'm Marnie. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was kind of neat. The game was pretty crazy. Somehow managed to whiff a boss. He had like so few cards left and had like 2 boss still. And somehow still managed to miss. So I was really lucky actually to get through that round. I should definitely have lost there with how the games played out. And also, like, I didn't like the ADP matchup in the first place, so that would have been completely fair as well. But I managed to get through that. So then I knew I only need one more win to get my travel award, right?
Yeah.
Next round I play against Jack and I get completely walled. Not too much I can do. I managed to make it like semi-close, but it was still just horrible. He reduces my damage output to 100 from 220, like the 160-60. And 100 doesn't even set up for a 2-shot. So you need to 3-shot his 2 prisers instead of like doing 3 attacks to win the game. It's actually horrible. So he just gets so much time. And if you combine that with like Samosenta that he sometimes can't even hit, and Malavlana to heal off my whole turn, it just becomes completely unwinnable. That was definitely something I hope I didn't have to run into again. So I knew that like with those eggs are probably just gonna take it after I had to play against it. So I was like, okay, I need to get top 4. That's all I need actually. I won't win the tournament ever. I won't get through both of these guys, but if I can get top 4, I'm happy. So
yeah,
I got smashed there. And as fate would have it, next round in losers bracket, I found a Scorch, which is like my absolute best matchup, right? Yeah. So I was a little break. We played. We were gonna play the day after I saw that matchup. So I was like, I was going to bed with a really a good feeling. I was like, you know what, we're gonna get there. Yeah. We're gonna get there. I sent a Scorch for top 4. That's gonna be great. And I did win the matchup. But someone dropped a game actually.
Oh wow.
I dropped the second game. I think I was playing a little too conservative. I think I was trying to save it to the point where he actually had a chance. But like I don't think I played horrible. It was just the game in the hand was kind of awkward, and he'd still have a lot of damage output. So it's not like completely auto win as you would think, but I still have a really solid advantage, of course. He got the second game, and then I get the third game where I just draw everything, and he's not even drawing suboptimally. So kind of got through him there. And then I was in top 4. Then I had to play against Victor again, which was the guy that I already felt I had been really lucky to win against the first time I played him. So, but like when we played now, I felt much more relaxed because it was like there's no prize on the line anymore. It's just all the glory, of course. Everyone wants to win. That's given. But like there wasn't that much tension anymore. Yeah. Because like normally in a tournament when you play, you can you normally play a game, and if you win that, you like move up on the ladder like a little bit, like so your prices increase a little, but they already have something, right? You go from like top 32 to top 16 at originals because you get one more win. Yeah. That's nice and all, but like you don't go away with nothing either way. But in like when I play against a Scorch player, that's actually an all or nothing match. Yeah. Like the whole invitational and all the other rounds I did, I had an easy way. like compared to everyone else. Because I didn't need that long term, and I just had to somehow get through the invitational. And even if though that like quality of players are better there, it's still a smaller tournament, right? So it's still an easier way, no matter what. But yeah, I was much more relaxed playing the top 4 match, and I was kind of close series as well, actually. Went a little back and forth. Third game, I managed to get myself into a hand with no more draw cards, and then he just kind of rolled me. But I think in the position I was in, I could probably have lost that game even without that drawing with no supporters there. So I didn't feel too bad, and I already made my goal, so I was more than happy. And I also get to do it with a really cool deck, like with Snom and Inteleon and the Blue Boys.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Snom is such a cute Pokemon. I saw some of your tweets or stuff about Snom. It's really funny. It's always cool when like an off-the-wall deck that plays some odd Pokemon does well, and obviously you were able to do that with Inteleon. It's really interesting that you note how the Scorch match was like a super all-or-nothing game, and like you mentioned, you had the invitational route, but there are a lot of players, myself included, that had the like got to grind through the qualifiers and whatever, and then it's kind of like you lose in the final 16 out of all these players, and then that's kind of it. And then it was interesting that the top 4 was just locked prizes, no ladder, like you mentioned. And yeah, the Lucario Metalizations being at the top was threatening, but you were able to sneak in at 4th and get the travel war, which is excellent. And yeah, overall, like a really well played event from you, and your invitational run was amazing. 2 great decks.
Thank you.
So really well played. How did you feel about the event being run? Now that we're talking a little bit about the all or nothing aspect of it, you got these double elimination brackets, the 256 from certain regions. What do you have any thoughts on that from your playing experience?
Well, I think it was honestly quite fine. Didn't see too much fun with it. There was a lot of controversy with the ticket system, of course, but in the end it didn't even matter that much. The people that really wanted to get in, they got in just by grinding in the same month even. So it was better than expected with all the early controversy. And from what I could see, all the like physical online tournaments was going pretty smooth. Like there was no big delay, and people got to report their scores probably. It seemed all right actually, from what I could see though. And obviously the finals, the top 16 was also running very smoothly, at least from my perspective. So I think they did a good job. And I think it went well enough for them that they could probably think about doing it again. I guess I did it like kind of some test run to see if they wanted to have more online tournaments. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get some more in the future.
I'd have to agree with you. The whole Battlefly bracket system was very smooth. It's mainly just the ticketing that a lot of people had an issue with. But yeah, like I said, well-ran tournament and all that. So that's going to conclude the interview. Thank you so much, Tord, for being here. I'm going to give you this opportunity to, feel free to shout out any social medias, people that helped you test, and stuff like that. The floor is yours.
Shout out Jens, my local VGC player that came to test with me and play some TCG. Appreciate you. And you can follow me on Twitter, just my name, Tord Reklev. And I stream sometimes, rarely, but sometimes. And you can follow me on Twitch as well, RetordTCG, I think. So, yeah, that's it.
All right, so thank you so much for being here, and congrats on the amazing run. And for everyone else, I'll see you all on Thursday with the interview with Victor to conclude our Players' Cup interviews. So thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you all in the next video.